but deep below the bright, shimmering surface, this is going to be my last dance. A danse macabre. The bitter cold is soothing, like an ice pack on exquisite pain, and is lulling me to sleep. The body's instinct is to fight to stay alive, and I can feel my lungs burning, screaming for air. But my mind, like David Bowie's Major Tom, is feeling very still. They say that just before you die, your entire life flashes in front of you. But for me, it is a single fragment. That instant when I woke up, and he was gone. These are the final moments when my body and soul are still united in the fragile alchemy we call being alive. But my spirit is exhausted by grief too almighty to bear, and so my soul is bidding farewell to the flesh and bones it once called home. It is such a relief simply to let go. Chapter 2. Alice. Several years ago. The rich, sweet smell of toffee and fruit filled the kitchen as Alice opened the oven door and carefully removed the hot tin. Pineapple upside-down cake. It was Matty's favourite. Alice checked the clock on the wall. He would be home soon and starving hungry as usual after an afternoon at the pool. Today, Matty was being tested for his bronze medallion award that involved all kinds of challenges, including basic life-saving skills. Alice had no doubt that he would pass with ease. Since he was a toddler, he had always been completely fearless in the water and had learned to swim before he started school. Alice tipped some potatoes into the sink ready to peel for their supper of shepherd's pie, another of Matty's favourites. She wanted to spoil him today, not just for the swimming test, but because she loved her son beyond measure and always worried that she didn't say that enough. Waiting for him to come home from school was the highlight of her day. Once the potatoes were ready, she set them to boil and turned the cake out of the tin and onto a plate. She checked the clock again. Any minute now. She wiped the condensation from the kitchen window with the back of her hand, so that she could watch for him walking down the road. And soon his dishevelled figure appeared, blazer unbuttoned despite the cold, tie at half-mast, and one shoelace undone. He had a satchel over one shoulder, a sports bag over the other, and a wide grin plastered across his face. Clattering in through the back door, he dumped his satchel on a kitchen chair, his sports bag on the floor, and made a beeline for the cake. "Not so fast, young man," Alice said, smiling at his eager face. "How did it go?" "I passed," said her son, with a triumphant fist pump, his eyes still fixed firmly on the cake. "I always knew you would," said Alice, ruffling his still damp hair. "Now, get changed and put your wet swimming things in the bathroom, and then you can have some cake." "Mum," Matty protested good-naturedly, but he snatched his sports bag from the floor and galloped up the stairs. By the time Alice had cut a slice of cake, he had changed out of his uniform and was back in the kitchen. Chapter 3. Masha. Present day. Today's pool temperature is 10.4, and a bitter wind grazes the surface of the water. The Charleston Lido opened in 1931, a thing of beauty and a place for pleasure. But by the mid-1980s, the sounds of splashing water and children's laughter were no more than ghostly echoes. For the next 20 years, the tiles in the empty pool cracked and flaked and sprouted weeds. The walls of the changing rooms grew soft with mould, and the poolside bunting flapped frailly on the ground, like fishes slowly dying. The Lido's resurrection was a small miracle, performed by a determined neighbourhood band of ordinary, extraordinary people, some of whom had learned to swim here as children. I, for one, am very grateful. The pool where I learned to doggy paddle, clutching a rectangle of grubby polystyrene and wearing a saggy-bottomed nylon swimsuit, was trapped inside a grim concrete box.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.